Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the DJ Sessions Presents the Virtual Sessions. I'm your host Darren, and right now I'm sitting in the virtual studios in Seattle, Washington, and coming in all the way from Bangkok, Thailand, we have none other than Jonny Chiappetta.
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 Chiappetta. Hello,
Chiappetta.
everyone. Thanks,
Hey
For
Jonny.
having me.
Yeah,
How are you
absolutely.
guys?
uh, we're all doing great over here, and you have something very unique. Jonny is with a company called Purplefly, the first ever
Correct.
NFT record label in the world. And it's an honor to have him here today on the show. Thank you for being up with us and
Thank you.
joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting. And yes, I'm Johnny, and I'm the co-founder of Purplefly, which is an NFT full record label. So it's the first, not the only. It's the first because we actually been the first to launch
First.
over a year ago.
Okay.
So the difference with other record label is that we also add our own marketplace in our website, releasing NFT. That we will talk about it for sure during the call, right? So really excited about that.
Yeah. And what's the story behind the name Purplefly? What does that stand for?
Actually, we were thinking about a nice name to name after a record label. So Purple Flight doesn't really have a meaning, but it comes from inspiration that we wanted to take from visual instead, because the record label is pretty much visual inspiring, and NFT for us it means amazing art put together two words. One is the design word, and another one is the music word, which is why for our releases we try to do unique artworks, which are these unique 3D elements that you might have noticed. And just browsing, like scrolling around the internet, I come through this fishing hook, let's say that, and he had these beautiful colors, and it was actually a fly. So I say, okay, why then I was talking to our designer, and then I say, why we don't do a robot fly that looks like that? So if you look at our logo, it actually looks like it's a fishing hook, but it's a fly, and is robotic, it's a cyber fly. So this, we got this inspiration from the picture that was just amazing color, amazing design, and then we turn it our way in like technology, robotic inspiration. So this is where the brand come from. And then we had this beautiful color that was purple, which was just a coincidence. It was like the most popular color during the last year. So that was, let's say, the story behind the name. It doesn't really have a meaning. It was more like a feeling that inspired us to create the brand.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah, and now I get. Is it kind of like you're trying to? Are you trying to catch people? Are you trying to lure them in and
yes,
with a fly
that's
fish
the
and
meaning.
bring
Like
them in?
we try to catch as many talents as we can.
Uh huh.
So it's all about that for us, releasing like music that we like, right? And just try to attract to us, all the artists and the best music as we can find.
And now that I look at it, now I see that it's a fly, it is a hook. I get it now.
Yeah, you
Awesome.
you can notice in the first place if you don't know, like you would just think
No.
it's a cyber fly, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that was the catch for us.
What? No pun intended.
Yes, correct.
what? What genres will one find on Purplefly? What genres of music are you specializing in? Just one type of music, or are you opening it up to multi genres?
Let's say we are a multi-genre record label. So we go from dubstep to tech house, to big room, pop and electropop, anything that is electronic. For us it works. So we are literally not limited to any genre, because right now also pop music is completely electronic, right? Wow, nice cat.
Yeah, I had to
And
give him some attention, otherwise he'll start meowing, and you'll hear him in the
yes,
background. So he wanted to
that's
come
cool.
sit in my lap. This is Yama.
A new upcoming artist cat, let's say,
Yeah.
right? So regarding genres, we release dubstep, we release uh, big room artist, trance. Just to give you and something new, we have Ferry Corsten coming early September, on the 9th of September, remixing one of our best tracks so far, which I personally love the most, with is Cielo by our artist Boulevard and Layback Luke. So we have this super cool remix from Ferry Corsten, which is trance. But if I need to describe that to you by words, it would sounds like Giorgio Moroder doing trance, because
Really?
it's gonna be a classic. We are really excited. We are going to put up the advertising really soon. So it's coming the 9th on September. And just to talk about genres, just a week after, we have a full EP of remixes, which they go from hard trap, dubstep, tech house, like anything that you can find, like even big room. We have Harry Fong as well coming with a remix on other tracks. So this is gonna be like a remix version of Boulevard album that we release area code.
Nice.
So it's called Remixed Volume 2, and we are really, really, really excited. So
Well,
this
I
is, it will
saw.
show like our multi-genre.
Yeah, I saw that you have a collaboration with Boulevard and Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes.
You also had something that had him on earlier this year. You had something with Seven.
Oh yes,
Um,
Kevin is coming back in September as well on
yeah,
Purplefly.
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's just phenomenal. I mean, I can't wait to see how the website plays out. I know you have the music up there, but it seems like a very simple design. Come in, get tracks. There's not a lot. Like if you go to our site, we have a ton of stuff all over the place, but it's there for a reason. But I mean, it seems like a very easy site to navigate, listen to the music, select the music. Your marketplace is going to be there. And I was curious, how many artists and tracks do you have so far?
Oh, during this first year, we probably release about 50, 55
Okay.
tracks. Probably some more, because we had like some really large remix packages lately. We do that for radio purpose. That's the real goal. That we want to address as many radios as we can. So we like when we do a remix pack to get as many different genres. That's the only reason. So we look for that. So this also gave us a little bit of volume on release. But uh, then we also had the launch of our sub label. It's called Flyover,
Okay.
which we had also amazing tracks. We had an artist from the big room scene that I personally love, is Reggio. He does this special genre called dark progressive. I always been a fan of him. So he was
Dark
the first
progressive.
artist opening the Flyover, and then we had a second release that had artists such as Diego Miranda, which is also quite popular house artist, and together with Mad Mac and a Brazilian singer called Lucas Preti, but he's coming from the pop world. So that was, for him a crossover from another completely another genre. So that was cool. And yeah, that was also, so we have plans for the sub label that is actually gonna be focused more on big room music, and then we are planning to open a techno label. So
Nice.
it will be called Black Fly. That will have a really nice visual, all like black with thunders. That's what I can anticipate. And then we're gonna explore the world which are not really familiar with, but it's a challenge that we really wanna take. And
No.
regarding our website, just to answer your question, it's like yes, the marketplace is gonna be there. Right now, it's really simple. We just focus on our visual and then just give the best user experiences we can.
Yeah, and when you're making these as NFTs, is there a set number? Does it? Oh, I should say, does it vary for the number of NFTs that are made for each song? Like, is there a limited amount? I mean, or is it unlimited amount? Or what's that? What? How do you? Is there an? What's the amount? Or does it vary from track to track? or is there a set
Thi-
amount or a sweet spot that you found?
this is like I need to go back to the whole long story of why we did this in the first place
Uh-huh.
to answer
Yeah.
this question. So, as I said, we were the first record label to issue NFT because we launched our marketplace that right now you cannot access to, because just launched the new version of the website, which is gonna have like a whole marketplace, which is gonna be decentralized. That means anyone can use it. You can upload your NFT, your music there, and then anyone can buy. But we don't really look at NFT such as the commercial side is a digital asset, right? That is attached to something that you really need to use. So we have different kind of NFT. Some of it are a crossover collaboration with the designer. Usually, his our own designer is Alan. I give a shout out to him, Goofe Visual. It's been amazing. And then we also created a designer collective to help artists collaborate with another with fashion designer, for example. So we onboarded together with our friend from Vunox, uh, the fashion designer from Prada, Moschino, D Squared, Burberry, Joanna Armstrong. Then we have Etro, right? So we wanted to create this opportunity for artists to create something unique. So, answering to your question about the number of NFT, that it should be really limited because we want to create something unique, something really rare, valuable, which is also attached to real experience. So some of the NFT is gonna be linked to private masterclass sample pack that these artists will give away together with the song, because these help for artists to capitalize on their own brand IP, because there are too many right issue with this. Artists cannot really have a platform that allow them all of their fan base to connect with them and support them. So this is where this come in place. And together with that, we create gaming experience. This is what Purplefly will really be about. We be really cautious, going public with all our plans yet, because we taking our time, to experiment, study more about this industry. So what we will do is like we creating our metaverse. Is a really simple metaverse which is attached just to experience. So when you get the NFT, that will be a gaming asset that it will be crafted to for that specific DJ, for that specific music release. And what we do, we create an handful of games attached to that music release. On a weekly basis you will have new games to play with, and this is just an experience that you can get directly to getting in touch with the artist. So it's not just the NFT, just like, okay, I got the collectible. No, this is gonna be a gaming asset that you can use in our platform, where you can also represent yourself, right? If you're a fan of Seven, right, you will have something like the blonde hair. I call Seven my blondie, right? It's You will have something like this. It's just gonna be cool for the artist to experience. And together with that, we also onboard new artists through this metaverse. That means new upcoming artists will have the chance to compete with each other. So they will host like a mini concert. They will present their song to our audience, and then is our audience will choose who's coming next. And then we have all the Purplefly brand related experience as well. We can talk about what we're doing with the futuristic polar bears. Actually, shout out to them. They did the intro for us. So shout out to Fran and Luke. For example, they did a collaboration. We working together with Mastercraft Boats, which is
I
a
remember.
brand from the United States, also active in the UK, when the polar bears are based. And what we're doing now, we are creating some games that include the futuristic polar bears music side to the boats, so you can actually play with the boats. There will be pirates into it. We create these assets that are going to be available as NFT. So all the user, that the audience, the mastercraft has, can come and enjoy, right, the virtual boat, and maybe they have the real one at home, right? And then the fans of the polar bears can enjoy these music games related to the boats as well. So we is a new way to market music, to
Hmm.
reach a wider audience. Is not like the NFT intended as, the asset that it needs to grow in value. This has a value on its own. It's something that you can use. And then we also link to live events,
Hmm.
because when you hold one of our NFT, if Purplefly has an event around you nearby your city, then you can access the events because you are one of our community members. So that's really important for us, like go in the real world. And then we also have like the final stage of the NFT, which is music redistribution, royalties redistribution. But we all know, right, we are in the music industry, we know a song cannot really generate that much money. Like as a record label, we struggle, right, even to go after what we spend releasing a song. So we saw many companies trying to sell shares in an artist song, like raising some money for them, and then anyone holding the NFT will get a tiny percentage of what that song is generating. But we saw that's not gonna be like a long term thing, because just a song, realistically, it cannot sustain, it cannot guarantee to any of these people who buy the NFT any income. Like seriously, we get every 1 million stream about $4,000, right? So if you sell $200,000 of NFT, where these people are gonna see their money back? So this is why it's just not sustainable, and it's just number talking. So what we wanna do is like we will do this only to few selected songs. Like we know when we got a hit song, we hope that is making 100 million stream, then that makes sense doing that. Otherwise, we don't want to hurt the community. We're not going to hurt the artist fans. But we studied the note system. What if it's the record label paying for that, not the artist, not the community? So what we're going to do, we're launching our own token, which is basically attached to the earnings of the record label. So it's not one song generating money. It's probably 1,000 songs, 10,000 songs, 20,000 songs. So you can imagine when Purplefly get this dividend every 3 months and then use this money to buy back this token directly on the market. That means we put liquidity, real money behind this token, and anyone holding the token, you will see the price go up because it's us buying it, not touching artist share, not getting any money from the community. We actually give back to the community. What we want the community is to listen our music, because when they love our music, they listen, they share it, they basically generating a revenue. If they listen on Spotify, they listen on YouTube, they buy on Beatport, they are really paying for that song. And then we just take that money that come back and we put in the token. That is also a utility, is mostly a utility. This is the thing that you can use on our marketplace, on a website, you can use in a festival, you can use in our games, right, as a currency for the games to get the asset. So it's like it's a broader thing, but it's directly connected to the record label business, right? So we don't
Yeah.
take from our community, we give back. This is the
Mhm.
purpose. And this is why we are really different from all the companies that straight after us start to release, attach these royalties to NFT, just like we just want to give back, we don't want to take. And then we want to create experience, we want to help artists with this gaming. Like gaming is, we believe, is the most thing, because there is still a lot of people are still not aware of what is really blockchain technology, crypto. They just think, right, it's a money grab, or it's like it's a investment whatsoever, but it's more than that. So what we want to do is like, it's not that the artist come on his Instagram even 10 million followers, there are not the condition yet buy my NFT, nobody gonna do that. But this is why we use gaming, you know to create this bridge between Web3 adoption, that is the future, and the artist and their
Yeah.
audience. Because through gaming, you buy the NFT because it's just a gaming asset. As you had to learn how to download your software, that now the game is no more a CD, is online, you need to learn how to get this NFT, right? And this will promote the adoption of crypto. So we are on a purpose of creating awareness about this.
And one of the amazing things you mentioned is I kind of am a little, I've been a little bit in the know about that Mastercraft NFT thing. Luke has been telling me a little bit about it. And we were talking about our VR nightclubs and how we would get our VR nightclubs like in your world. And when we do live streaming and have DJ events, it would be playing inside your world. I don't know if that's something you're open to or if it's possible.
Definitely. We
We'd like
built
to.
our Purplefly stage, right? So it's people cannot see it yet, but they will see soon. We hope to release all our functionalities for the website at the end of this year. We were just waiting for onboarding more artists. We just taking our time because anyway the record label it's growing every week. There is more
Mhm.
artists joining. So we have built this stage where he has this virtual screen where we can literally host anything. So if you have your event, we can stream it at the same time into our own, right? So we can bridge these two things. And then if you're using VR, right, that's definitely possible for us. So we have this audio and video live stream system that it can be completely merged with yours as well. Like we're gonna do that with real world venues, festival. Like we will have a series of event like with a partnership with a few clubs where you literally have clubs streaming inside our platform on a daily basis, like 24/7, because we use the time zones to go around the world, and we always have a real life event coming up. So this is something we are working on for over 1 year now. It's a really long concept, like long time concept, almost 2 years, let's say. So it's we just going to launch that, and we can wait. We open to any partnership collaboration because it's all about the community, right? Having fun, onboarding new users, and this is our goal. Just expose the music of our artists to the widest audience, the biggest audience as we can.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm trying to tell everyone that I know right now, if you're not looking at the metaverse if you're not talking about if virtual reality is not in your pool of conversation as a brand, as an artist, or whatever you're doing, you're going to be playing catch up in 5 years. If you're not having that discussion now, what are we going to do in the metaverse? And it doesn't have to be something so complex, but the way I look at it,
It's pretty simple.
I was just talking with an artist earlier today, Tyler Stone. Sorry, Tyler, if you're watching, sorry, Tyler. And I explained it to her that she's been around for a number of years, and I explained it to her in the '90s, in the mid '90s, the buzzword was .com, get a website. And a lot of people said, I don't need a website. I'm brick and mortar. I don't need a website. I play shows. I get shows booked. But the bands or the artists that put up a website and people can go check them out, they might just be able to put up a calendar of events or a track, a song or something that people could listen to on their computer because iPhones weren't out then. They had a better online presence and would start building everything. And when socials came around, all those people that went to their website when MySpace came out, then they get a MySpace, and obviously then they get a Facebook, Instagram down the line. Same thing happened with social media. People say, I don't like social
Same.
media. Well, you're
Unlike
missing out on a
Instagram,
huge,
nobody
yeah,
got into Instagram, and now they're catching up with others
they're
that are there
catching out
since
with
10 years.
that. And not even people are just now understanding how to use hashtags, probably because of TikTok more than Instagram. Instagram was using a lot of hashtags, but Twitter was using hashtags way before all of that. And people
Yeah.
didn't understand the power of
Same
hashtags.
happened with music and Spotify as well,
Yeah.
because many people start building their playlist, their audience there. Others don't, that didn't, and now we can see that people who work hard on that like 5 years
Yep.
ago, 6 years ago,
Yep.
now they are dominating the industry. So
Exactly.
always need to be at the forefront of whatever
Exactly.
new technology and new trend there is, and capitalize that in the long term. Maybe you will suffer in the first moment because not many people will use that at the beginning, but you create your advantage. That will be your legacy later. So that's what you say is really, really important, and what we also suggest anyone to do straight away.
Because yeah, that's the thing. And we saw this when I got my Oculus last year. It was 2 days later I went and bought my mom and dad one. And then, over the course of playing around with it for a few months, I was looking at saying, what'd be really awesome is if I had a nightclub in here. What would that nightclub look like? And I didn't know where I was going to deploy it. I didn't know where it was going to go, but I started that conversation. And a few months later, I found a build, and then I had to find a developer, and and then I had to find a developer that knew what they were doing, and it took me a while, but we ended up getting our VR nightclubs up about 3 months ago. No, no, actually, I'm sorry. It was in January of this year. A developer came in and got our builds up, but we're still in beta with these. They've been soft opened,
The
but
development, that will never stop, because
yeah,
more you develop, more a new functionality will come up, a new technology. So I can tell you already that what we're working on another company, which is uh, neurotech. So what we are trying to do is remove everything that is physical from your. Imagine that if you are in your club and you're wearing your Oculus, but you have a device on you that just lets you control everything with your mind, and you don't need anything, like you don't need a joystick. Like even when you play like a game with your Oculus, you still need a controller, right, to move. Imagine have your Oculus, but then you have your device, right, and then you control everything with your brain. Or you playing a game, you just want to control an application, produce music, compose a melody, or just change the equalizer of Spotify, just thinking about it.
yeah,
So that's what we are working on right now. And this is our next step. This is a big thing, like it's actually neurotech. So we go into another field, but we like to, cross over things. And this is what actually coming next for us. We have this device already, we have the technology, is ready, it exists, and that would be the next step, and it go together with virtual reality, because
yeah.
virtual reality eliminate the screen, and now we're going to eliminate anything else that you need attached to it. So you just have your Oculus, and it's going to be compatible with almost any device, any game,
Nice.
and any metaverse. So it's just an instrument that it will play a major role, right, together with many other applications that you can have with that. But we looking, forward, same as you're doing, and we hope from what we're doing now in 10 years, it's just going to be like everyday normal. So
How,
it's
I was one of my questions I was gonna ask that I have it here. Where do you envision Purplefly 10 years from now?
Oh wow, our goal is to, we're not an aggressive company. We love to do partnership. We actually, behind Purplefly, there are people, coming from even many labels, like many different management, artist management. So it's like it's a collaboration with the industry. It's not like, but of course we want to see Purplefly as the leading EDM record label, because we believe that having us the advantage of being accelerated by the crypto business side, metaverse, we have access to revenue stream that traditional record label doesn't. We can offer artists things that other record labels cannot do, or they will need years to catch up with us, because it's here we work on it. Even they start today.
Yeah,
I don't think they can catch up on this, and this is why we hope that Purplefly is gonna be, one of the leader record label in electronic music industry. Not because of us, but because of what the artists, can achieve with that. Because at the end of the day, if we have success, is only thanks to the artists. How good is the music, and how good they are also to market themselves, their brand. It play a major role on each one of our releases, right? So they have a great audience, most of them. So we're also really grateful. We have this advantage, right? So this is where we see the future, and adoption of new technology is gonna be like for us everyday stuff, like till going to neurotech. So that's gonna be, the our
yeah.
biggest hit later.
Well, and you just partnered with Loop Ventures. Tell us about that partnership.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Loop Ventures is an accelerator. Is there, they build amazing products. They have a huge community, and they are just some of the smartest people, right, I ever met. So they are Purplefly partners, and they helping us, developing all the crypto side, business side, and basically they just provide to us also additional audits, security for our smart contracts. That's what they do. They have one of the biggest developers community on on Rust, which is a kind of code for blockchain, but also they can develop on other codes like Solidity, and this is just technical stuff. But I mean, they Loop Ventures is just like this incubator venture capital firm that is a new partner of Purplefly, and we just working together to launch this. And we actually have so many other friends and partners that we're gonna announce soon. But Loop, is the team of Loop has been with us since early days, and they're just part of the journey with us.
Yeah. Now, how would you define success for an NFT label? What since it's so new, I mean, you're literally writing the playbook on what it is to be a successful NFT label, and is there a model to compare it against? Because you don't compare it against the traditional label model. Is it going to be the amount that's in your marketplace? Is it going to be the amount of tracks that you have to offer, the amount of artists that are on, and I'm curious to know what you would determine what success is for an NFT label.
I believe that the real success is to create value for both the artist and the fan base. If your NFT can do that, then it's something that is worth doing. Because my mantra is, don't try to sell using crypto something that you can't sell in the real world first.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see NFT, like, okay, I give you 0.2% shares of my song, right, and you're gonna get $1 per month. It's like, can you do that without crypto? No. So you shouldn't do that using NFT in the first place. If I see an NFT attached to mm, t-shirt, and then I say, can you sell a thousand of this t-shirt without using crypto? No. Then you shouldn't do an NFT telling your people that they're gonna get a t-shirt in the first place. So use the technology for what it's made for, and create value as much as you can. This is why we create experience and we create real utilities. Because if you can access any to something, you can solve problem you can solve with using another technology, then you are creating value. This is, let's say, where we see our NFT compared to what we saw coming in the industry, which is where we are taking slow. Because after that we started, right, there was a boom in NFT as well in that period, but now we wanted to step back, stay away from all this happening around the industry. Everybody's jumping in, but we knew that maybe be more cautious, try to create as much value as possible before launch all this product that will give us an edge and a long-term vision, rather than just maybe do potentially a lot of revenues in a short term and then just die together with it. So that's not our purpose. So it's also about the new artists coming. As you say, volume, yes, this is going to be sustained with more artists that want to join this, bigger the ecosystem will become. Because you can imagine different communities in the metaverse, in the NFT space, coming from all these different artists that become also member of our community. The community just get bigger. So this is what we want to go through.
Yeah, and one of the things that we're also holding off right now on our NFT creations on our side, because we're trying to still figure out how we can take interviews like this and make the video file an NFT, because
That's
right
amazing.
now a 1 hour video is about 700 to 800 megabytes,
Yeah,
and
storage, it's a issue with NFT
that's
as
the
well.
issue
That's
with it.
another.
And so my friend that I'm working on this with, that we're trying to work this out, and he's created an algorithm, a compression algorithm, to get 800 megabytes really lossless down to about 170 megabytes, 150 megabytes. But even that is still a pretty big file size when you're comparing it to a 5 megabyte file for a song, or a megabyte file, maybe a half meg for a graphic file, if it's even that big. And so that's our pain point that we're hitting, because we have a lot of stuff that we think collectors and fans would like to own a piece of the DJ sessions, and we could actually take the wallets of the person who's on the show, and attach that to the NFT itself. And if that ever moves, well, we're getting a cut, and then they're getting a cut as well for being a guest on the show. and being able to go that route for in perpetuity
This is
forever.
a really noble thing of NFT, because creator always get their cut
Yeah.
of shares if some of their art gets sold again. So this is another issue that NFT solve. This is a really valuable function, because copyright's always been an issue for us. So imagine having a song, and then if you want to just you buy from Beatport, and then you just take the file and give it to your friend. Basically your friend didn't pay for the song, but the artist put effort into it, the record label put effort into it. So imagine doing that with NFT, right? Actually, yeah, you can still just transfer an NFT, you don't need to resell it.
Hmm.
But if you resell it, then even the original creator gets rewarded, and this is really
Yeah.
important function. And the other issue that you are addressing about the storage, this is not only about the storage, but about who store these files, because we can talk about decentralization as much as we want, but if the file is still on the Amazon server, the file attached to the NFT, because the NFT cannot contain an actual file yet, but you just need to point out to a link that is the storage file where the file it is. But if the file is on Amazon server and Amazon shut you down, even you own the NFT, you own nothing. So if you want to also attach the actual asset into the NFT, into the smart contract, that's a field where probably as many developers as we can should come in, as many companies as you doing now, trying to solve this problem, scale down the sides, right, to actually trying to store it inside the code, then that would be really valuable. This is something that creates value. So you move in the right direction. This is like
Hmm.
also our concern. So this is something that crypto still need to grow, right? It's
Hmm.
still a
Absolutely.
process, and we're going through that.
What do you think the most important thing a record label should do for their artists, and do you plan to improve on that with an NFT label? It sounds like you kind of are solving a point that a record label may get a song out there and get it into Beatport or Spotify, and they're getting such a small percentage. They have to sell, they have to do millions before they get anything. Whereas an NFT label, you're kind of solving an issue that they can get residuals for the rest of its for eternity, as long as it goes. Are record labels? I mean, I guess I'd say, are you doing a good job with that? But you are writing the playbook, so it sounds like you are doing a good job with it, because you're getting some very notable artists that are recognizing the value and seeing the future potential of Web3 and NFTs moving forward. So, I mean, pretty much you are doing a good job with what then the other labels aren't. You know.
It's what the question it is like what we can what we can give to the artist, right? That was the most valuable thing that we can offer to artists, and how we try to improve that. On the music side, if we talk about just the music side, what artist needs from us, it's exposure. Like we help them in also in the production process. Like sometimes we step in when we receive a demo, we give a feedback, or if they have like an amazing melody, amazing idea, we help them getting a nice vocal to it, helping them write songwriting, and sometimes we also do the songs ourselves, and then we go to pitch it to artists, right? If they want to work on that idea that we started, and then we up them also in the creative process, like even technical process, if they need to, like, we're talking about mastering, we're talking about anything that we can help do, we do it. And then but most of them, you saw them, they're really quite experienced, so it's not always happen, but what else we trying to do is put them in front of a radio audience when we can. That's really important. And just try to leverage all our network and connection, to put their song in front of as many people as we can. That's our role, because the art is up to them. Our goal is to market that art in the best way, and then we will feel bad not doing that, because once the artist signed a song with us, they basically give us their trust. that we know we're gonna try to do the best as we can, and if we don't, the project would just fail. They don't get a second chance for the song. So we feel this is a huge responsibility, because we know the amount of work, the amount of hours that they put behind the song. And then if the song come out and you're doing nothing, you're just doing a simple upload on your YouTube channel, then you're not doing your job right, not from a business perspective, but it's human perspective. Is like, this is not respecting their work, and just, it's something that I will not sleep at night if I would do so. So this is for us that every time there is a new song, like we got the same anxiety as they are, because we know the responsibility that we take in that moment. So this is how we approach to that.
What what measures do you take to actively promote an NFT label? As far as PR or social media goes, is it different than a traditional label, or is it the same mechanics as a traditional, like a label you says, hey, we got a new song, it's released. Let's put it out to the socials. Let's try to get radio play. Let's try to get this song up the charts and get a bunch of eyeballs on it. And then, by the way, it's offered as an NFT. And is it only offered as an NFT, or is it offered on all the other platforms and here's an NFT?
This is like, we did some pilot, NFTs. So for example, you had Seven on your show. Seven, he actually released an NFT. In that case, we did a collaboration with the marketplace called Terra Virtua. They were one of the leading marketplace. And so what we try to do is, like, we release anyway the song on every platform, as I explained, because we are a traditional label from one side, and then we take the revenues from the label and then we give back to the community through the token. So it's like a collaborative way where the fan have our own same interest. Biggest is the song, but they stay as well. So it's like we just give back, and then we use the community. We work all, they become our partners, shareholders, I would say. And then the NFT in this case, if it's just something more that we offer, because if you can experience the song on Spotify, you have the audio experience. If you watch the music video, you have the visual experience. And now if you have the NFT, you get the gaming experience, you get the real world experience attached to it. So it's just like enhancing something that already exists. Also, what we call metaverse is just the internet, right? It's YouTube is the metaverse, I would say. Right now, we are in the metaverse. So blockchain technology come in play when you create value with that. It doesn't mean that if it's not crypto, it's not a metaverse. It's still a metaverse. But we use this blockchain technology, which is just to help the artists to monetize their brand, right? To get more a close connection, real connection, without any intermediary between and their fan. This is our purpose. So that all the NFT things, it creates an additional experience and value. Same as Spotify audio, YouTube is visual, NFT is experience for us,
Mm-hmm.
and utility. This is just come is like your sense, right? And we adding one more sense to the field, things that probably other record labels haven't looked into that yet. So this is the purpose.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I'm so excited to see this all come out. I mean, this is such an exciting time to be in the industry with Web3 making the advances and opening up the doors for artists to kind of take control back a little bit, if not a lot.
Yeah.
You see artists going out and, you know, over the last few years in the live streaming world, an artist they might not be getting booked for any gigs. They might be producing from home. They might not be getting signed by a label, but now they go on and make a live stream on Twitch, and all of a sudden they start getting thousands and thousands of views and subscriptions, and actually making a living live streaming, and then setting up a merchandise store, and selling some merchandise. But now they can also go out and sell their NFTs and become their own label in a sense, or
Yes.
work with your label, but they can take control of their own brand and run it from the ground up and make a kind of comfortable living. I mean, I know a lot of artists out there that might be working and making $50,000, $60,000 a year at a job, or $40,000 a year, $30,000 a year, but then they could turn their artist into a business and have this going and be making 150,000 a year or 250,000 a year, and they're not signed to a label. They own all the rights to their music. They can sign movie deals
Exactly.
on their own. It doesn't get signed off to. They don't have to worry about master. They don't have to worry about copyright. Let's just leave it at that. I won't get into that discussion. But I
Yeah.
mean, they have to worry about copyright on their own end. But there are top level artists that I've had on the show that they can't even. Somebody comes to them and says, "I'd like to use your song in a movie," and they go, "I have no more rights over it. It's Sony owns it. Warner Brothers owns it, or Universal owns it. I can't do anything." And they go, "But it's your song, and you don't have any rights to it." It's like, no, it's off to the agency. It's off to the label. So, being able to have ownership. I'm curious if there's going to be a way that in an NFT, let's say you make one NFT that's for collector. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to hold on to it. But then you make another NFT that can assign certain rights to it, that says this
Yes,
NFT is okay to use. You can use it you can use this in a podcast series if your podcast gets less than 10,000 downloads a week, and that license will be included with the NFT that goes out. So the contract is already there, and there's no negotiation. You just buy the NFT once, and then let's say somebody else wants to use that song in a movie, you could then sell that NFT off, and that person has the right to use it in their podcast or their theme song, and everyone's collecting rights on it, and there is no label management on this, and all the money's going back
it's
into
direct. Yeah,
Bitcoin
this is
wallet.
exactly one of the issue that we are
Yeah,
addressing. This is why I give you an overview of the different kind of some of it. Um, all right. Do you see me right? I got like
I
a
got you.
notification about my connect. Oh, perfect. Sorry.
I got you.
It was just a connectivity. So we are addressing the issue of also royalties, this redistribution. That means
Yeah,
people will get to own a piece of that song. That means they also own the copyright of that song if
yeah,
they can access to the dividend that song is making. So on the other side, we also have the copyright of it, not only of the actual song and the songwriting, but also of the art that has been created with it. So people owning that means they literally own it. So when in this case you have a limited amount of copies, for example, for the publishing, right? You have about that they represent the rights to you to have that song and monetize once it get used on a TV show or whatever. So if you have 100 points that you can share across people, right? Then you have 100 NFT, right? And an NFT is not something that you can fractionalize. So it cannot be broken into more NFTs. So that's
yeah.
great value, right? But and together with that, we also work on ETF, which is like something that is being widely discussed into into the finance space. Like when crypto will get their own ETF, that the price it would stop being so volatile, like volatility, like it's volatility, sorry. And it's a issue because anyone getting into crypto, then it just doesn't know how he ends up losing liquidity money unless you're holding on the long term. And this is become an issue if you also need to buy an actual asset. You don't do this for trading purpose. Imagine you need an Ethereum to buy one of the gaming assets. I don't know, Game of Thrones get a new game and is only by NFT and is selling Ethereum. What if Ethereum price, it go up to 200% of like this volatility doesn't please anyone, if not speculation. So having an ETF, which is an asset, is different when you can trade, but you're not selling the actual crypto. You're just trading on the ETF. That will help. So we want to do this with NFT. We already did that. So what we do is like we store NFT in a vault, right? Which is we create a limited amount of NFT, and now we launch a token which represent a fraction of it. So now imagine you do the ETF of um, a Bored Ape. So you have the Bored Ape is worth, let's say, 100,000 for one, right? But if you issue tokens who represent the ownership of this Bored Ape, you can participate in the ownership even with $1.
What?
Because if I issue, right, a token which is attached to it, the value of the token is represented by the value of the NFT. So more it go up in value, the Bored Ape, more my tokens go up in value. But this will give access to many people, because you cannot fractionalize one NFT, but you can do an ETF of it. So
So
this
you
is
you
also
make
another thing that we actually already did. So
okay.
it's
So instead of making a bunch of NFTs, you make one NFT and then sell tokens off of it. But because there's only one of this NFT, it can go up in value, and then the tokens
and
go
you're
up
not
in value.
trading the NFT, you're not selling the NFT. So the
NFT,
NFT most
the
likely will
tokens
stay
go back and
safe,
forth.
and anything else is the token which is moving. So it's,
Oh my God.
and these also give access to people to goods that you cannot usually afford. Like if I
Mm-hmm.
want to own a percentage of the Bored Ape, but I cannot get in at 100K, I don't have it, and I know this is going to a million, right? But I can buy the token for $1. When the Bored Ape go to a million, that token it would be like $10. So it's an ETF, right? So I give access to anyone. But in this case, we use this just for another purpose, utility purpose. So this will be like a utility instrument. So it's not the security, it's a utility. And we apply this concept of ETF that we are waiting on the financial side to happen to give us stability. That's why we want it, but for a practical use. So it's fractionalized, NFT ETF. That's something that we already explore. So let's say we got a large experience, right? This is where we haven't launched now the new product yet, because we wanted to get our hands dirty about working on all this. So now we have an edge on exactly how to what we can give to our community, what is safe to do, what is wise to do for the artists as well. And we don't want to get into the iPod, I'm the new artist, get my NFT. It's just not what we want to do. So now with this knowledge, we will try to improve as much as we can our product.
I was just going to ask you, one of my last questions here was, is there something you'd like to say to new and up and coming producers to watch out for when it comes to making their career successful with when working with a NFT label? What should they watch out for?
Let's say I will first answer that from a traditional record label perspective. First, it's all about the music. That's for real. Because if the song it's good, and it means like you need to think on the commercial side of this aspect. If you want your song to be successful, it needs to be commercial. It can be dubstep and be commercial. That doesn't mean like you need to do pop. What I mean is that it needs to be, like as many people as possible needs to like it. So this is what you should work on, and also improve your production skills about the quality. Just get a sound that is good enough to sounds good on any sound system. That's enough. It doesn't need to be like a crazy thing, right? And then that's what give you an edge already on your other competitors, other producers. Like that does give you, your own edge. And together with that, artists also, thanks to these NFT things, they will learn how to market themselves, how to reach new people, use social media, use this instrument gaming experience, go on a common path with your community, to the people who love your art. And you need to connect with them, because most of the artists, right, I also did this mistake in the past also, because it was just how I am. Like, you never try to reach new people, you never try to advertise what you're doing. But an artist should, because if they want to have a record label deal, that means they want to get into the business of selling music. So you cannot be at the same time someone who doesn't want to advertise themselves, just don't release on a label, right? If you want to go for the commercial side, that's what you're signing off.
Mm-hmm.
You going on a worldwide scale competition, and you doing that because you want to be famous. So you need to work for that, and you want to make a living with it. So you make your brand, just try to create your own community, your own fan base. That will give you value. Don't expect the label can give you the exposure once you have a product already. They can help you accelerate the process. But on the other side, artists, what we are trying to give to the artists is a tool to directly connect to their own community, and, as you said, use them to sustain themselves and
Mm-hmm.
make more music, live out of it. So it's just an instrument that we help them to connect to their fan base, but they need to create the fan base in the first place. Otherwise, we can give as many instruments as but if we're talking to no one, no one will be listening, right? So
Absolutely.
this is the advice. Just work on your brand. That's the most important thing. We are working on the instrument for you to help stay in touch with your
Mhm.
fans. So we help you with that. And on the other side, work on your music as much as you can, and then sky's the limit, right?
Absolutely, Johnny. I think that's a great piece of advice there. Is there anything else you'd like to let our DJ Sessions fans know about before we let you go?
Oh, I invite everyone, right, to just keep an eye on our website, and take a look at our upcoming releases. That's what I want to let know. There is a new release from Futuristic Polar Bears coming next week with Mastercraft. So watch out, because that is gonna be linked to all our previous discussion. Really soon for that, we will issue like their own game, their own NFT assets, and everything else. Then we have Ferry Corsten coming on the 9th of September with Boulevard and Layback Luke, and then 7. Your audience, is familiar, so I think he didn't announce the song yet. I'm doing it now for the first time. So he has a new song with Sarah De Warren. He's a really talented singer coming at the end of September. It's called Running from Love, and is the second release of 7 on Purplefly. So we are excited for that.
Well, I'm definitely going to reach out to Fran and get Fran on the show for an interview about the release and talk with her. It's
Oh,
time I
cool.
catch up with him, anyways. But I'd love to get Ferry and Laid Back Luke and Seven back on the show again, talking about this, because it's time to reach back out to them again as well. We haven't had Laid Back Luke and Ferry on the show, but we're working on it. But I'll put my team on it and definitely try to coincide something with those releases and get them on the show to help promote what you're doing over there at Purplefly. It's some amazing stuff. I don't know if most of the people watching this right now, I don't know how much of you got, how much of it went shoop right over here, like, but you just gave a lot of information on what you're doing there as an NFT, as the first NFT label out there.
Thank you so much.
Amazing, and congratulations to you and your team, Johnny.
Appreciate
We look
that.
forward to talking with you and following up with you for years to come.
For sure, excited about that. Thank you so much for having us on the show, and let's stay in touch and talk soon. All
Absolutely
right.
will, Johnny. Thank you very much for coming on the DJ sessions tonight.
Thanks so much.
I
Speak
guess I
soon
should
then.
I guess I should say it's tonight for me, but morning for you.
Yeah, that's morning for me already.
Actually, isn't it Thursday morning over there?
It's a Thursday morning,
It's
and
Wednesday.
I got almost like a complete shift since yesterday, because I got some work to do overnight. I need to stay in
Yeah,
touch with Europe, US as well. So probably I will go to sleep soon for a few hours and then come back.
awesome.
This 24/7 business record label. Music never sleep, so we shouldn't
I
sleep.
I know how that goes. Well, again, thank you for coming on the show, and we'll be talking with you in the near future here. I'm sure. I'm sure of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're
Talk
welcome,
soon,
Johnny.
Darren. Bye,
Talk soon.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye. On that note, don't forget to go to our website, thedjsessions.com. Find us on TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Meta. We're out there all over the place. That was Johnny from Purplefly, and I'm Darren, coming to you from the virtual sessions in Seattle, Washington for the DJ sessions. Oh, and don't forget Roku, Amazon Fire, and Google Play, and soon to be Apple TV. You can watch us streaming live on all those platforms. But the best place to go is our website, thedjsessions.com. And remember, on the DJ sessions, the music never stops.